Hi guys, how have you been? Today we will talk about specific types of loops in Python, which are the nested loops. In simple terms, nested loops refer to the situation where one loop is placed inside another loop. This allows you to iterate over elements in a more complex structure, for example, a list of lists. Look at an example of creating a multiplication table and understand how it works. Here I have written the lines of code which generates this multiplication table. Let's see what exactly is happening here. So, in this example, first the outer for loop iterates over the values from 1 to 10. And during each iteration of this outer loop, the inner loop again iterates over the values from 1 to 10. In that case, on printing the product of loop variables, I and j for each combination, it returns this output. At first, it prints the first row from 1 to 10, then the second row as 2, 4, 6 and so on, to 20. Similarly, the third, fourth till 10th row, thereby, resulting in the multiplication table from 1 to 10. The print statement in the inner loop prints the rows without moving to the next line, and the print statement after the inner loop adds a new line character, creating the next row in the pattern. Let's take one more example of the nested loops. Assume that we wish to create this pattern of asterisks in Python. So how do we do that? First, notice that there are 10 rows and 10 columns in this pattern. Let's write our code. First, we define a variable, number of rows, and assign it a value, 10. Then, the first loop controls the number of rows, and the second loop controls the number of asterisks in each row. Here, just like the previous example, the print statement of first loop prints the asterisk in the first without moving to the next line, and the print statement after the inner loop adds a new line character, again creating the next row in the pattern. Nested loops can be extended to more than 2 levels if needed, depending on the complexity of the data structure we are working with. However, we need to be careful about the performance implications of deeply nested loops as it increases the associated time complexity. Let's understand this with an example. Say, we wish to create 3-level nested loops for different combinations of these colors, sizes, and shapes. Then, let's write our code for it first. So, in this example, the first loop iterates over colors, the middle loop iterates over the sizes, and the last one iterates over the shapes. This results in the generation of all possible combinations of color, size, and shape, and each combination is printed. This kind of nested loop structure is often useful for tasks like generating permutations or combinations, iterating through multidimensional data, or solving problems that involve multiple levels of iteration. So here, we learned about the nested loops, their uses, and how we can create them for various tasks. That's all about the nested loops in this video. Thanks for watching. Share it with your friends who would love to learn about the nested loops. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.